Okay, today we will be talking about, as I have told you, the addressing modes and the instruction sets. Okay, and I will be giving you some part as a homework. So majority of the part will be given as a homework because already we have covered many of the things in our previous semester. So we won't waste time in understanding those concepts. So you can read from any of the books and you will be able to understand. But just to start with this second module, let me give you some basic understanding about the 8051 addressing modes and instruction sets. So whenever you talk about the addressing modes, you know that is in assembly language, all operations and addresses can be identified by symbols. Okay. So whenever you write down the instructions, it is basically we have the format for that. Okay, we have a format. Okay. So the standard format you please see on the screen. Whether my screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is a standard format. Okay, for any instructions, this is a standard format. So as we are understanding 8051, so we should know the addressing modes and the instruction sets. So this is the format in which the instruction sets are given. Okay, so your 8051 instructions are mostly divided into four fields. So the four fields are, the first one is label, the other one is opcode, the third one is operand, and then followed by the comment. So this is an optional. आप comment लिख सकते हो if you want. Okay. Otherwise, label, opcode, and operand are important. Even label is also optional, but sometimes we have to define the label. Okay, we have to give the label. So what is the label? See on the screen, the label is a symbol address for the instruction. Okay, it is a symbol address for the instruction. Now suppose if I am writing down the label, you can see in the example, the label is given as loop colon add a comma r0. So here loop is a symbolic representation of the address of this instruction add a comma r0. Add a comma r0. Okay, so loop will give you the address location of the instruction add a comma r0. Okay, so ये जो loop हम label देते हैं, so it is a work of assembler to calculate the address given by this label loop. And why do we require this? We require this whenever you use the branch instruction. हम कभी भी branch instruction अगर use करते हैं, that time we require this label. Okay, so branching जब भी हम करेंगे and we do not want to know the address of the label, simply we have to give the name of the label. So always remember it is a symbolic address of the instruction. Okay, nowhere we are specifying the address. We are only giving the label. Okay, so it is so can you see here, only whenever you require the label, there you are giving this label name. Okay, so it means that not all instructions will have labels. Labels वहां पे आएगा जहां पे अगर वहां पे आएगा where you require the address, and that address will be called somewhere in the instruction, somewhere in the program. So that is why we require this in branching. Okay, so it is not necessary to define a symbol for the address of an instruction unless that address is needed by a branch statement or branch instruction. Okay, so always whenever the label is mentioned, that means that particular address will be required somewhere in the program, somewhere in the program. Okay, so it is only the symbolic address, and calculation of these particular address where you can see this instruction add a comma r0, add a comma r0, that is calculated by the assembler. वो यूजर का काम नहीं है या फिर प्रोग्रामर का काम नहीं है. That is done internally by the assembler. That is done internally by the assembler. Okay, and what about the characters? What characters we can use here? You can see here on the screen, a label can be any combination up to 8 letters. It can be A to Z. It can be numbers from 0 to 9, and it can be some period. It is given in the circular bracket. Okay, it is given in the circular bracket. So it can be letters from A to Z, numbers from 0 to 9, or a period given in a circular bracket. Okay, so it should be at the maximum of 8 letters. So this is about the symbol. This is about the symbol. Now again the opcode. What do you mean opcode? Already we have studied. Opcode is nothing but the mnemonics. Okay, operational code. So हम जो भी लिखते हैं, for example here, you can see an instruction given as move. So it is getting converted into the operational code or the machine code, which is in the form of zeros and ones. Zeros and ones. Okay, so these mnemonics are the actual instruction which will tell the assembler कि क्या operation करना है. अभी यहाँ पे move बताएगा कि क्या I have to move the 05 in R5. Okay, here add is an opcode or the mnemonic which will tell that content of A and content of R0 should be added and the result should be moved into A. Okay, so these are the operations and the mnemonic will tell us the operation to be performed. Okay, operation to be performed. Already we have seen this. Already we have seen this in 8086. So we have opcode also. Then comes the operand. Now operand also, it is variable. It can be a source operand, it can be a destination operand, it can be a single operand. So whatever comes after the opcode is your operand. Here you can say, here you have two operands. Here you have two operands. This is your source operand, this is your destination operand. Source operand, destination operand. Source operand, destination operand. Here these are the two operands. No one is source and destination. These are the two operands. But after the addition, the destination operand becomes A. The destination operand becomes C. Okay. Here R5 is an operand, R5 and loop. So whatever comes after the opcode is your operand. It is your operand. Okay. And then comes the comment. Comment will be given after you give the semicolon. So it is for the user to understand or to specify. Actually, this will give you the program clarity. Okay, that these instructions hum क्यों लिख रही है. So what is the need of that instruction? So whatever you comment you give, that can be given after the semicolon. Okay, so after you give the instruction, then after giving semicolon you can give the comment, and this is also option. Okay. Any questions regarding the format of the instruction used in 8051? Any questions you have? The label, opcode, operand, and comment. See, whatever I'll be showing on the screen, you please take the screenshot. We will not waste time in drawing the figures, writing down something on the screen. Okay, you can take the screenshot, and whatever you find it important, afterwards you can fill it down in your notebook. Shall we proceed further?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is about the instructions. I have told you the typical format of writing down the instruction. Then also we should know what is the data types. What data types are supported in 8051? What different data types are supported in the 8051? So you know that as far as 8051 is concerned, it is an 8-bit. It is an 8-bit. So whatever the addition, subtraction, whatever the operations you do, at the max you can do on 8-bit. You can do on the 8-bit. So when you have, that means your 8051 supports your 8-bit data. So when it supports your 8-bit data, now this 8-bit data can be signed number or unsigned number. To be more specific, it can be a signed 8-bit number or it can be unsigned 8-bit numbers. So what do you mean by unsigned? Unsigned numbers are the numbers which are defined by the 8 bits itself. पूरे के पूरे 8 bits can be used to define the number. Okay, to define the number. And then what is the signed number? As far as 8 bits are concerned, okay, the 8 bits are concerned, then in the signed number, the MSB will give you the sign of the number. When it is 0, it is a positive number, and when it is 1, it is a negative number. Okay, it is a negative number. So with 8 bit, we can actually go from 00 to FF in hexadecimal, or if you want to represent in decimal, you can go from 00 to 255. 00 to 255. What I mean to say that with 8 bit of representation, you can go from 00 to FF in hexadecimal representation, or in decimal representation, you can go from 00 to 255. Okay, 255. Now, if you see on the screen, Now actually with the signed numbers, मैंने बताया था, in the signed numbers, your MSB, your most significant bit will give you the indication, or it will convey you whether the number is positive or negative. If your MSB is 0, the number is positive, and if your MSB is 1, the number is negative. So with this understanding, the signed numbers can vary from plus 127 to minus 127. Please see on the screen now. Plus 127 to minus 128. Plus 127 to minus 128. So you can assume this as a number line. This is as a number line. So you are starting your number line from minus 128. उसके बाद आएगा minus 127. Dot 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 dot. बाद में आएगा minus 1. उसके बाद आएगा 0. 0 के बाद आता है 1. 1 के बाद आता है 2. So do not say 1. You should say plus 1. Then comes plus 2, plus 3, dot dot dot. At the last, it will go to plus 127. It will go to plus 127. So these are the representation in the hexadecimal number. So plus 127 is given as 7F, and minus 127 is given by 81H. Okay, 0 is given as 00, plus 1 is given as 01, minus 1 is given as FF. So how do you get these numbers? You can actually see in the binary representation. See your 00, it is given as all 8 times 0. All 8 times 0. Now in the negative number, I have told you. Now okay, we will do one thing. We will start from minus 128. Okay, this is a number line. So you start from minus 128. So if you start from minus 128, it is nothing but all zeros with MSB as 1, because it is a negative number. It is a negative number. And if you convert this number, if you see this number, this will be 128. This will be 120. This will be 128. But MSB will indicate it is a negative sign. It is a negative sign. So minus 128. Minus 128. Then minus 127. तो ये सब 00 था. उसके बाद it will be 127. It will be 127. Yes, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
हाँ, ठीक है. So minus 27. So it is 128. So this is this will give the indication that this is a negative sign. So it is minus. Okay, and this all zeros. So actually, you know, whenever you talk about the negative numbers, okay, the negative numbers हम जब बात करते हैं, तो मैंने बताया था the sign numbers, the MSB when it is 1, it is a negative, and where MSB is equals to 0, it is a positive number. So other than MSB, all other bits will give you the magnitude representation of that number. And you know that magnitude representation of that number is actually the 2's complement form. 2's complement form. Okay. So whatever you see here, these are all the 2's complement form of 128. Okay. You can do this sitting at home. You can do properly calculation. मैं सिर्फ ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि whenever you are representing a negative number, okay, so MSB will give the indication of a negative number, and other than this MSB, all other bits are actually, you know, they are the magnitude representation, and it is in the 2's complement form. It is in the 2's complement form. Okay, it is in the 2's complement form. Okay, so these यहाँ तक तो negative number है. Then from here there is no problem. So all are zeros. Here it is 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, and for 127 it is all ones followed by 0. Okay, so you can see this. You can take a peek of this. This is actually the data types. So हमको यहाँ पे यही बताना है कि you can go from 127 to minus 127, minus 128 to plus 127. You can assume this as a number line. This is as a number line. Okay, this is as a number line. Shall we proceed further? These are the data types used in 8051, because your 8051 supports 8-bit of data. So this is how 8-bit data, signed number and unsigned number. Shall we proceed further?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Then we will see now the different addressing modes. You can take the pick of this. Now, देखो, if you see many of the books, they will have the different addressing modes. So if you want to write down, you can write down all the addressing modes, and please explain few of them. Please explain few of them. but actually, you should know all the addressing modes. It might happen that the question may come for 2 marks or 5 marks, in which they will be giving you that with this example, identify whether this will come under which addressing mode. So you should know. We should know that this example will come under which addressing mode. Okay. So these are the different addressing modes. So total there are 10 addressing modes. Many of the books will give you 7 to 8. That is also fine. That is also fine. But you should know maximum of the number of addressing modes and with some examples. And if the question is asked for 10 marks, then you have to just list down the addressing modes and explain 4 to 5 out of them, which are most typically used. Okay. So these are the immediate addressing, register addressing, direct addressing, indirect addressing, relative addressing, absolute addressing, long addressing, indexed addressing, bit inherent addressing, bit direct addressing. Okay. And what do you mean by addressing modes? Why we have to go with the addressing modes? Actually, the microcontroller provides they provide the addressing modes, which is actually helpful for the programmer to know what are the different methods in which you can actually access the data. हम डेटा को किस तरह से एक्सेस कर सकते हैं और हमारे पास क्या क्या ऑप्शन है, डिफरेंट ऑप्शन है जिससे हम डेटा को एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. ओके, वी शुड नो एज अ प्रोग्रामर, यू शुड नो. हाँ, अगर आप प्रोग्रामर नहीं हो तो इट्स ओके, बट यू एज अ प्रोग्रामर शुड नो in what different methods I can access my data. Okay, because that will be used for execution of the instruction. Okay, and these are the different methods. So which are important, that thing I will take. Okay, you have to do everything as a homework, but which are important, this I will just highlight. Shall we proceed further? हम आगे बढ़े?
हाँ सर.
Okay. So this is the one. See, which are important, I think I'm explaining you. So this is the indirect addressing, and see the example. Please take the pic if you want. Otherwise, you can write it down. See, indirect addressing. अब indirect addressing में क्या है? Move a @ R0. We are encountering this @ Okay, we are encountering this @ first time. So when I'm using move a @ R0, so there are two operands. This is a destination operand, this is a source operand. Concentrate on the source operand. Here @ indicates that R0, it's an address. Whatever is mentioned by this R0 will be as a address, and that is your internal address. Okay, अब R0 में क्या है? Suppose R0 में 54H. R0 में क्या है? 54H. So 54H is not the data which I want to transfer to A or which I want to move into A, but this 54 will indicate the internal RAM address. This will indicate the internal RAM address of 54H. So can you see your internal RAM? So in this internal RAM, at the address of 54H, whatever is the data, that data I have to move into the accumulator. Okay, so this is the indirect addressing. Because R0 is not the data which I want to transfer, but R0 में जो भी है कुछ है, वो will indicate the address of the internal RAM Okay, so this was important. This one was important. Okay, now one more thing. Can you see here move x a @ dptr? Move x a @ dptr. Now I have told you about the x. It means I am pointing to the external RAM. तो एक्सटर्नल रैम में से मुझे कुछ तो भी कॉपी करना है ए रजिस्टर में, एक्यूमुलेटर में. तो वो जो एक्सटर्नल रैम का जो एड्रेस है, दैट विल बी पॉइंटेड बाय डीपीटीआर. यू नो द साइज ऑफ डीपीटीआर 16, and you know the range of the addresses of the external RAM. You know the range of the addresses from the for the external RAM. It will start from 0000 to FFFF. if I'm talking about 64 kilobyte of memory, everything I have explained you, everything I have explained you. तो वहां से अगर मुझे कुछ लाना है accumulator में, so you have to use this DPTR. So here DPTR is a data pointer that will point to the memory location. तो data pointer में जो भी कुछ रहेगा, that will be specified as an address of the external RAM. और वो जो external RAM में एड्रेस लोकेशन के जो एड्रेस लोकेशन है एक्सटर्नल रैम का, उसमें जो कुछ डेटा रहेगा वो एक्यूमुलेटर में मूव होगा. तो दिस इज अ स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्मेट इफ आई वांट टू ब्रिंग समथिंग फ्रॉम द एक्सटर्नल रैम टू द एक्यूमुलेटर. सो इंपॉर्टेंट बात है, यहाँ पे मूव है, यहाँ पे मूव एक्स है, तो तभी पता होना चाहिए. ये सब मैंने लिया ऑलरेडी. ओके, सो मूव एक्स ए कॉमा एट द रेट ऑफ DPTR. दिस इज अ स्टैंडर्ड. हम ये इसमें कुछ भी चेंज नहीं कर सकते. आपको एक्सटर्नल रैम का जो भी एड्रेस है वो DPTR में डालो और ये इंस्ट्रक्शन एग्जीक्यूट करो. वो लोकेशन में जो भी डेटा रहेगा वो एक्यूमुलेटर में आ जाए. as simple as it is. Okay, so what I can I say, the external data memory location is always pointed by the DPTR. Can I say this? Yes. So always your external data memory location will be pointed by the DPTR register, that is the data point. Is it clear? Shall we proceed further? Any questions you have? Shall we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this was indirect addressing. This was indirect addressing. Now we will see the index addressing. Index addressing. Okay. This is also important. So as far as index addressing is concerned, you please see these two instructions. Move CA, comma, at the rate of A plus DPTR. Move CA, comma, at the rate of A plus PC. Index addressing की जब बात आती है, तो these are the two instructions. These are only the two instructions. Okay. अब ये भी समझो क्या है index addressing. That means I am pointing to the external program memory because C is there, X is not there, C is there. That is a code memory. Okay. तो code memory से if I want to bring something, then वो address कहाँ पे आएगा? Address will be shown by this A plus DPTR. Now what is A? What is DPTR? Try to understand. Now here DPTR will play an important role. Here DPTR is nothing but your base address. ये सब हमने किया है 8086 में. Okay, so just recollect the things and try to understand the concept. So DPTR is nothing but your base address, and this base address when added with the content of accumulator. So if here DPTR is the base address and A is the offset address, is an offset. A is an offset. A is an offset. So DPTR is a base address. So base address plus offset address will give you effective address. Will give you effective address. और वो effective address is the address of the external program memory. और वो program memory में जो कुछ है, that will be moved into the accumulator. That will be moved into the accumulator. That will be moved into the accumulator. So can I say effective address is equals to A plus DPTR? Can I say effective address is equals to offset plus base address? Offset is given by A accumulator, content of accumulator, and base address is given by the content of DPTR. Similarly, it is applicable here also, A plus PC. A plus PC. So here the content of memory location pointed by the sum of memory location pointed by the sum of accumulator A and the program counter और ये जो कंटेंट उसमें रहेगा that will be copied or that will be moved into the accumulator. That will be moved into the accumulator. Okay. So as far as index addressing is concerned, these are the only two instructions, standard instructions. If you have questions, please ask. Otherwise, we will proceed further. Shall we proceed? Yes or no?
सर ए में ऑफसेट डेटा होता है, मतलब
Yes, ए में ऑफसेट होता है. वो ऑफसेट मुझे DPTR के कंटेंट को ऐड करना पड़ता है, तब जाके इफेक्टिव एड्रेस आता है. वो इफेक्टिव एड्रेस कहाँ का रहता है? एक्सटर्नल प्रोग्राम मेमोरी का, और वो एक्सटर्नल प्रोग्राम मेमोरी का जो इफेक्टिव एड्रेस है उसमें जो कंटेंट है दैट विल बी मूव इनटू द एक्यूमुलेटर.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we will see the next one now. Yes, this is a direct, so this is simple. हाँ यहाँ पे, हाँ ये मैंने क्यों लिया, ये समझो, ये मैंने क्यों लिया. डायरेक्ट एड्रेस मूव A, 47H. Now 47 is the address. 47 is an address. और ये 47 address of the internal, ये भी important है, internal. Obviously there is no question of external RAM because it is move. So 47 जो एड्रेस है उसमें जो कंटेंट है दैट विल बी मूव इनटू द एक्यूमुलेटर. और यहाँ पे अगर हैश लगता है, हैश, तो इंस्ट्रक्शन क्या रहेगा, मूव A, #47H. then it is
Immediate
called as,
address.
yes, then it is called as immediate addressing. So in that case 47 will behave as a immediate data. So A will have 47 will be moved into the A. 47 will move into A. Now as there is no hash, so then here 47 becomes an address. 47 becomes an address, और उसमें जो कंटेंट रहेगा that can be moved in accumulator. Okay, so this has become direct address. Okay, और मुझे बताओ अगर मुझे यही इंस्ट्रक्शन को इनडायरेक्ट एड्रेसिंग करना है तो आप कैसे करोगे. माय क्वेश्चन इज सिंपल. अगर मुझे मूव ये इंस्ट्रक्शन को, ये सेम इसको मुझे इनडायरेक्ट एड्रेसिंग करना है तो आप कैसे करोगे. सो
Sir,
That is
indirect
simple.
से रजिस्टर में मूव करेंगे वो एड्रेस को.
वेरी गुड. पहले मैं क्या करूंगा, ये 47 को मैं एक रजिस्टर में डालूंगा. सपोज मैंने डाल दिया R0 में, तो इसके पहले एक इंस्ट्रक्शन आएगा, मूव R0, 47H. तो R0 में मेरा 47 गया, और बाद में मैं लिखूंगा मूव A, @R0. यस और नो. मूव A, @R0. हाँ, तब जाके फिर वो ये जो इंस्ट्रक्शन काम कर रहा है वैसा वो इंस्ट्रक्शन काम करेगा. इसमें सिर्फ हम एक लाइन में काम कर रहे हैं, इनडायरेक्ट में हमको 2 लाइन में काम करना पड़ेगा. बस वही फर्क.
सर एक डाउट है.
हाँ
सर अगर हमारा इमीडिएट डेटा ये रजिस्टर में है और हम लोग ने मूव A, रजिस्टर किया तो सर उसको क्या बोलेंगे.
नहीं, फिर आपको वो इमीडिएट डेटा है तो फिर कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ना. आपने फिर क्या किया है, आपने वो इमीडिएट डेटा को R0 में डाल दिया और मूव A, R0 कर दिया, तो R0 का जो कंटेंट है वो A में डाल दिया. तो आपने इमीडिएट एड्रेसिंग यूज नहीं करके आपने इसके डायरेक्ट एड्रेसिंग यूज किया. एज इट इज, एज सिंपल एज इट इज.
ओके सर.
हाँ, so that is how. Okay, so we will go with the next now. Now this is very important. All of you pay attention. You have to take the screenshot of this. This is important. This is very important. This is a crux. This is a crux, or this is a summary. This is a crux, or this is a summary. See here now, all of you pay attention. This is your. I will say this is a bus, CPU bus. This is your CPU bus. CPU बस बोलूंगा तो एड्रेस बस आ गया, डेटा बस आ गया और कंट्रोल बस आ गया. ओके, अब यहाँ पे देखो क्या चीज है. ये चीज बता रहा है, ये ब्लॉक बता रहा है कि इंटरनल एंड एक्सटर्नल रॉम. ये बता रहा है एक्सटर्नल रैम, ये बता रहा है इंटरनल रैम. मैं फिर से बता रहा हूँ, ये बता रहा है इंटरनल या फिर एंड एक्सटर्नल रॉम. ये बता रहा है ओनली एक्सटर्नल रैम. ये बता रहा है इंटरनल रैम. तो ये इंटरनल अंदर रैम, एक्सटर्नल बाहर का रैम, ये इंटरनल या फिर एंड बाहर का रॉम. ओके, so these are the 3 memory locations. And how do you access them? Now if I'm using a register, so your addressing instructions will be move A, @RI. If I'm using internal RAM, I can use move A, @RI. Here I stands that any number from 0 to 7. Okay, या फिर मैं लिख सकता हूँ मूव ए कॉमा इमीडिएट या फिर डायरेक्ट एड्रेसिंग। ओके, तो इसका मतलब है कि अगर मुझे इंटरनल रैम को एक्सेस करना है, अगर मुझे इंटरनल रैम को एक्सेस करना है, तो आई कैन यूज ए रजिस्टर. A register will be always there because that is a destination, and you can use the registers. You can use the register. Okay, whenever you have to access your internal RAM. But if I want to access my external RAM, then move नहीं आएगा, बाद में आएगा, फिर आएगा move x आएगा. और स्टैंडर्ड इन जनरल में हम क्या लिख सकते हैं, मूव एक्स ए कॉमा एट द रेट ऑफ आर आई. तो x आ गया, इसका मतलब आई एम एक्सेसिंग एक्सटर्नल रैम. ओके, बट बाय यूजिंग R0 और R1, बाय यूजिंग R0 और R1. नाउ अगर मुझे एक्सटर्नल रैम को एक्सेस करना है बट बाय यूजिंग DPTR, देन यू हैव टू यूज मूव एक्स ए कॉमा एट द रेट ऑफ DPTR. ओके, अभी मुझे इंटरनल या फिर एक्सटर्नल रैम रोम को एक्सेस करना है और मुझे अगर DPTR प्लस ए को यूज करके करना है, तो मैंने ऑलरेडी सीखा है मूव सी ए कॉमा एट द रेट ऑफ ए प्लस DPTR. और अगर मुझे PC प्लस ए को यूज करके एक्सेस करना है, एक्सटर्नल रहो या फिर इंटरनल रोम रहो, तो देन आई हैव टू यूज मूव सी ए कॉमा एट द रेट ऑफ ए प्लस PC. मूव सी a at the rate of a plus PC. Okay, so here they have shown you what different registers can be used to access internal RAM or external ROM, or external RAM or internal and external ROM. So this is how you can access by using these registers and their standard mnemonics. Okay, so this figure is important, which will give you the overall understanding of using addressing using move x and move c, move x and move c. Okay, is it clear?
सर
हाँ
सर एक्स रैम के लिए है और सी रोम के लिए.
हाँ हाँ, ये तो मैंने पहले बताया था ना, एक्स रैम के लिए और सी फॉर कोड मेमोरी. एक्स फॉर, देखो मैं फिर से बताता हूँ, एक्स is typically, X means external RAM. X stands for external RAM. Here C stands for code memory. Now this code memory can be either internal or external. C stands for code memory or ROM. So this this ROM can be external or internal. But as far as X is concerned, because X will stand for external RAM. So always when X is there, you are only accessing the external RAM. और जब internal RAM की बात आती है, only move, no X, only move, no X. Clear?
Yes sir.
Okay. So we will proceed further now. Now, this is the important part which I have explained you. Yes. Now there is one more addressing, that is a bit direct addressing. There is one more addressing that is called as the bit direct addressing, and this bit direct addressing is important. Why? Because you know some of the registers are or some of the special function registers are bit addressable. So bit addressable है, इसलिए bit direct addressing. And if I ask you this such type of question can be asked as a viva. So bit address value कहाँ से कहाँ तक होंगी? Bit address values are between 00h to 7fh. Go back to the programming model. मैंने आपको बताया भी था उसमें कि your bit address will start from 00. तो 00 से हमने स्टार्ट किया था, राइट से हम लेफ्ट गए थे, बाद में फिर से हम ऊपर चढ़ने के बाद फिर से हम राइट से लेफ्ट गए, फिर से हम ऊपर चढ़े, फिर से हम राइट से लेफ्ट गए, ऐसे करते 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 लास्ट में जब हम गए तो हम सबसे लेफ्ट मोस्ट में हमारा था 7f, सबसे लेफ्ट में हमारा था 7f. So your bit address value will range from 00h to 7fh. ओके, एंड और एक बात है, ये 00h 7f 00 से 7f है, ये तो बिट एड्रेसेस है, लेकिन वो रेंज बाइट एड्रेस कहाँ से कहाँ तक है, तो बाइट एड्रेस है मेरा 20H से लेके 2FH. Okay, you can cross check by seeing the programming model. So what I mean to say that whichever the special function registers which are bit addressable, they can be addressed, the individual bit can be addressed, and that in the method is called as bit direct addressing. And simple example is here, TLR and SETB, जो मैं हमेशा आपको बोलते रहता हूँ, TLR and SETB. TLR 07H, इसका मतलब मैं 00 से लेके 7H के अंदर तक किसी भी बिट को मैं चेंज कर सकता हूँ, या फिर उसको 1 कर सकता हूँ या 0 कर सकता हूँ. अगर मुझे बीट एड्रेस 07 को 0 करना है तो यूज TLR 07H, और अगर मुझे उसको 1 करना है तो सेट बी 07H. ओके, तो इसका कमेंट क्या है, क्लियर द बिट 7 ऑफ 20H RAM space or sets the bit 7 of 20H RAM space. Any question regarding this? Any question regarding this? I hope you are taking the peek also. Do you have any
Yes, sir.
query?
No,
Any
sir.
question? Okay. So the next one. Yes. Oh, wait. Yes, this is also important now. Pay attention, all of you. This is important. Now, absolute addressing. Absolute addressing. All of you remember, this is very important. बच्चों को कुछ समझता नहीं है absolute addressing. So try to understand. As far as absolute addressing is concerned, we have only two instructions, that is AJMP and ACALL. AJMP is absolute jump and ACALL is absolute call. Whenever you are calling, that means you are calling to the subroutine program. Again, I'm saying, whenever you use the call instruction, you are actually calling to the subroutine program. Okay. Now, what is AJump and what is absolute? You see, try to understand. Now, whatever the AJump or ACALL instruction you are using, okay. So, can you see here AJump loop 1, ACALL loop 1, okay. So, loop 1 here is a label. So, whenever you are using absolute addressing, remember that these instructions are always of 2 bytes. These instructions are is always 2 bytes of instruction. Okay. Now, out of these 2 bytes of instruction, 2 byte means 16 bits. So, out of the 16 bits, the lower 11 bit will give you what? It will give you the memory address. It will give you the memory address. So, lower 11 bits will give you the memory address. So, here if you see loop 1 will give you the memory address. That is 11 bit will be consumed for the giving the loop address. For giving the address which is pointed by the label loop 1. Okay. And what about the upper 5 bit of the destination address? So the upper 5 bit of the destination address are nothing but the upper 5 bit of the current program counter. Now, you know, while executing the program, your program counter will always point to the next instruction. Okay, so that next instruction will be pointed by the program counter. Okay, so upper 5 bit will give you the current program counter location. Again, I am repeating, upper 5 bit out of 16 bit, upper 5 bit will always give you the program counter location. And then what about the last 11 bit? It will give you the address of the loop, address of the label, जहाँ पे मुझे jump करना है, okay. So with these 2 bytes of instruction, I can actually see on the screen. Absolute addressing allows branching only within the current 2 kilobyte of range of the program memory. So I can jump only till 2 kilobyte of memory. Why 2 kilobyte of memory? Only because of 11 bits are used to indicate the address of the memory location. तो जब हम 11 bit यूज कर रहे हैं तब मैं सिर्फ 2 kilobytes तक ही जंप कर सकता हूँ. So I can go with only 2 kilobytes of memory. इसलिए दिस इज कॉल्ड एज एब्सोल्यूट एड्रेसिंग, एब्सोल्यूट जंप. I can go only till 2 kilobyte. I can go only to 2 kilobyte. So this is important. ये students को समझता नहीं. Okay. The 11 bit will give the address, will specify the memory address, and the upper 5 bit will give you the program counter. तो program counter से हम वहां से हम कितने दूर तक जंप कर सकते हैं? तो हम सिर्फ 2 किलोबाइट तक जा सकते हैं. प्रोग्राम काउंटर के प्रोग्राम काउंटर से हम जब जंप करेंगे तो we can go only till 2 kilobytes. Why 2 kilobytes? Because 11 bits are used only for address, for memory address. So with 11 bits, I can go with 2 kilobyte of, I can jump till 2 kilobyte, max to max 2 kilobyte. One more important thing, जैसे a jump loop 1 है, वैसे a call loop 1 है. So जब भी call आएगा, that will nothing but you are calling to the subroutine, which is starting from the loop, which is starting from the label loop 1, and this is the instruction with the label loop 1 will be executed after the current instruction. That is your program counter. जब वहां से start होगा, वहां से I can go with loop 1. Okay, so a jump loop 1 and a call loop 1. I think you have understood this. You can take the pick, और जो भी मैंने explain किया है, once again you revise. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now one more addressing. Yes. Long jump. अब वो absolute jump था. Now here it is a long jump. Try to understand this also. Here also you have L jump and L call. वही फिर अगर call की बात आती है तो it is associated with the subroutine. I'm calling to the subroutine. And L jump. अब यहाँ पे समझो वो एब्सोल्यूट मैंने आपको सिखाया, उसके रिलेशन में ये भी समझो. Now what is the L jump now? Now L jump और L call और long addressing ये कितने बाइट का होता है? ये होता है 3 बाइट का इंस्ट्रक्शन होता है. ये 3 बाइट का इंस्ट्रक्शन होता है. एब्सोल्यूट वाला 2 बाइट का होता है, ये 3 बाइट का होता है. ओके, 3 बाइट का. ना एड्रेस स्पेसिफाइज द फुल. अभी ये 3 बाइट के इंस्ट्रक्शन में वो जो मेमोरी का एड्रेस है वो हम 16 बीट से पूरा दिखा सकते हैं. 16 बीट. ये 3 बाइट बोले तो 8 3 था 24 बिट्स. और 24 बीट में से 16 जो बीट है, वो 16 जो बीट है दैट कैन बी कंप्लीटली यूज फॉर अ डेस्टिनेशन एड्रेस. इसका मतलब मैं लंबा मैं आई कैन जंप टू अ लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस. एब्सोल्यूट में 11 बिट ही यूज हो रहा था, यहाँ पे 16 बिट हो रहा है. और अगर मैं 16 बिट यूज कर रहा हूँ तो मैं क्या तक जा सकता हूँ, कहाँ तक जंप कर सकता हूँ? 64 किलो. कैन यू सी ऑन योर स्क्रीन? 2 to the power of 16. So I can have a jump till 64 किलोबाइट. और वहां पे क्या था? मैं सिर्फ 2 किलोबाइट तक जंप कर सकता था. ओके, तो एब्सोल्यूट जंप का रेंज है 2 किलोबाइट. लॉन्ग जंप का रेंज है 64. 2 किलो क्यों है? बिकॉज ऑफ 11 बिट्स यूज. हियर 64 क्यों है? बिकॉज 16 बिट्स आर यूज. 16 bits are used, and this is the way how you can give. Can you see here? 16 bit. ये 0 0 0 0 0, ये 0 0 0 0 0, ये 0 0 0 0 0, और ये 5 0 0 1 2 4. Yes, 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1. Yes, 0 1 0 1. So all 4 4s are 16. So I can jump long jump. This is called as a long jump. This is called as a long jump. And when I'm jumping here, so 6000H is the address of the subroutine program. So it calls the subroutine, which starts at the address 6000H, which starts at the address 6000H. Okay, कॉल बोलेंगे तो हमको समझ में आना चाहिए कि हम सब रूटीन को कॉल कर रहे हैं और वो एड्रेस यहाँ पे लिखा है. ये एड्रेस यहाँ पे लिखा है. और मेरे एब्सोल्यूट में इट विल बी गिवन बाय द लेबल. इट विल बी गिवन बाय द लेबल. It will be given by the label. I hope you have understood this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. अब इसमें और एक बाकी था. हाँ, ये वाला. एक और एक एड्रेसिंग है, बिट इनहेरेंट एड्रेसिंग. bit inherent addressing. Bit inherent addressing. Inherent, which is specified in the instruction. See here now. In this addressing, the address of the flag which contains the operand is implied in the opcode of the instruction. So whenever I'm using any flag, that flag, the address of the flag which contains the operand will be implied in the instruction itself. CLRC, ये हमने use किया था, CLRC. So what it will do? It will clear the carry flag 20, CLRC. So whenever I'm clearing any of the flag, or sorry, if I am using any of the flag and that flag is used in the instruction itself, then it is called as a bit inherent addressing. Bit inherent addressing. Okay. So CLRC. So this is the best example to explain you the bit inherent addressing. Sometimes the question may be asked in a Viva, okay, or 2 marks question, 2 marker question. Okay, they will give the list of instructions, and they may ask you whether this will come under which addressing mode. So you should be able to know this properly with an example. Okay, so this is the last one, bit inherent address. I hope you have understood this.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think I have completed each and every part. So I was talking about the addressing modes. So I have completed immediate. I have explained you register. I have explained you direct, indirect, relative, absolute, long, indexed, bit inherent, and bit direct. Okay. So please remember all these addressing modes. And if any of the examples will be given to you, you should be able to tell me which it will come under which addressing modes. Okay. Which it will come under which addressing modes. Now with this, we have completed the addressing modes. From my side, you have to understand different examples for different addressing modes and try to find out, or you should be able to know which addressing modes will have which example, or which example will have such a specific addressing mode. Okay. Then thereafter comes the different types of instructions, the instruction set. What are the different types of instruction sets? So ये भी आपको करना है. These are also simple. I will categorize these different instruction sets into पहला वाला. Or now just listen to my words now properly. Your instruction set can be categorized into different sections. Number 1, data transfer instruction. Number 2, arithmetic instructions. Number 3, logical instructions. जो हमने अभी किया था, RLC लो, RRA लो, swap लो. Okay. So whatever these instructions are there, they will come under logical instructions. Okay. हमने सिर्फ 2-3 पढ़े थे. Okay. You will be doing by yourself. Then comes branch instructions. branch में जैसे हमने अभी पढ़ा था, L call, A call. Okay. Then A jump, L jump. Okay. So these are the some of the instructions which will come under the branch instructions. हमने और एक पढ़ा था अभी recently, that is DJNZ, वो भी branch instruction आता है. Okay. DJNZ, JNZ, so these will come under the branch instruction. Okay. बाद में आता है 5th वाला bit manipulation instructions. Bit manipulation में जैसे वो CLRC हमने किया था, set भी लिया था. So all these instructions will come under the bit manipulation instruction. Okay. So total we have 5 categories. मैंने आपको बताया. So 5 categories are data transfer, number 1. Number 2, arithmetic instructions. Number 3, logical instructions. Number 4, branch instructions. And number 5, bit manipulation instructions. तो आप अगर 5 कैटेगरी में करते हो, तो you will be able to actually understand different instructions which will come under this different 5 categories. Okay. तो ये आपको करना है. And last अभी जो बाकी है, that is the assembler directives जो already हमने पढ़े. Assembler directives जो हमने already पढ़े. So the assembler directives are not new to you. For example, ORG, EQU, then DB, that is a defined byte, and the most not most, but you are familiar with, that is AND. Okay, so they are assembler directives. So can I say now assembler directives, they are not the actual instructions, but they are the pseudo instructions, and they will tell the assembler to do something other than creating the machine code. मैंने आपको बताया था, instructions will always create the machine code for any of the instructions. So assembler directives will not generate the machine code. They will not generate the machine code. They will just tell the assembler कि क्या करना है, to do something, without generating the machine code. Machine code will not be generated in the program memory. Okay, so that is the main difference between the instruction and the assembler directives. इसलिए assembler directives को बोलते हैं pseudo code. Okay, that is why they are called as pseudo. Okay, so org, uqu, db, and end, these are the most familiar one, and you can just explain them. Okay, so I think you will be able to do all this homework. Okay, if I can give you some questions as assignment questions on this, so you can write down the in your this one write up or your assignment questions. The whatever I have taken in this in the class or in the while explaining, you can write down, and in this way we can be able to complete the different instruction sets and the addressing modes with the assembler directives. Okay, any questions you have from your side? Any
No,
questions
sir.
you have? Okay, attendance हो गया ना?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can leave there. Thank you.
Sir,
Thank you, sir.
हाँ हाँ